Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going to wait a few minutes for folks to join. I know right now it's 4:13 in Arizona. It's 3:15 in California. It's 5:15 where Dr. Wilkinson is at. And then for East Coast, I think it's 6:15. So we have a range of times today. So thank you everyone who's going to join. Hi, Kalia. Thank you so much, friend. Thanks for joining. Hi, Christian. Christian Greeks joining here. Sean Wilkinson, hello. I think you're connected to Dr. Wilkinson. No, I know you are. Hi, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm just welcoming everyone in and giving us a few minutes. We're going to wait for Dr. Gina Wilkinson to join in a little bit. But how's everyone doing today? I hope, as Dr. Lacy says, you do something to bring yourself joy today and to show yourself some love. Hi, Katie. Our newest Finish Your Dissertation client, Katie, is on. Hello, folks. I am her MD. Hello. Thank you, Kalia. You are hyping me up too much, but I'm not going to stop you. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Tell your friends. We're going to give ourselves a few minutes to get started. And for those who can't make it, don't worry, because we're going to be recording this live. And then you can view it whenever you can. I'm going to put... Thanks for... Great. Hello, everyone. It's like 85 degrees in Arizona today. I'm so sorry for the folks who are in the cold. It's really nice today. We're so excited to have Dr. Wilkinson, who just joined on the live, right on time. You all are going to learn so much from her today. Like, her journey, I can recall it so easily because she was in the Finish Your Dissertation program alongside me. I still am in it. And she has a testimony to share. She has a story to share. And it's in perfect timing, too. And I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to invite her in. And then we'll get started. Oh, and I have to accept her request to join. Got to do that. Okay. Oh, don't worry, Dr. Wilkinson. We're going to figure it out. We got you. We got you. If Instagram lets us be great. Hello.
Hi.
Dr. Wilkinson here. You know I'm going to call you it. Don't try to stop me.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can see you. And I'm just welcoming everyone in. Hello, Edwina. Edwina was in our last live. Thanks for coming in again. All right. Going to give folks a minute.
Live. So let me just get situated here. How do I'm like showing my age right now. Okay.
No, listen. We're all learning together. Casey's here. Hi, Casey. Kalia's here. Shan is here. I love that our current clients are here and joining in. We're going to get started in a minute, but I want to say for our folks, as you're listening to our live with Dr. Wilkinson, drop any questions in the comments or use the question box as well. Okay, everyone got it? All right, how are you doing, Dr. Wilkinson? You ready to get started?
Yeah. I just want to make sure, is like my face cut off a little bit?
I can see you. I can see the earrings. The curls are popping. You got the necklace going on.
Thank you. It was wash day today.
You're looking good.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you so much.
As always.
I had to. I was like, listen, Dr. Wilkinson has mastered the eyeliner, the cat eye, so I had to try a little bit.
What?
You know I'm following. Listen. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get started. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to our third interview for what we're calling the Qual Scholars Alum Series, where we're taking some time to talk and check in with our former clients, our graduated alum from the Finish Your Dissertation program. And I'm so excited to have the one, the only Dr. Gina Wilkinson join us today. And we're going to get to who she is in a second. But I want to preface this live by saying it's so perfect. It's perfect timing to be able to talk and check in with Dr. Wilkinson, because for a few reasons. One, you know, this live is about really thinking about your journey in terms of what happens when we need to ask for an extension. And we actually have a workshop coming up on February 20th called Rebounding After Missed Deadlines, which is going to challenge us to think about asking for extensions when we need it. And Dr. Wilkinson will talk to that. And then the second reason why this is perfect timing is just because you have a story that I think will resonate with so many people. Our theme this month in Qual Scholars is called, we're calling it improving your relationship with your chair. And I think, right, to have a relationship with your chair, to be able to ask for an extension, a relationship has to be there, which I think you'll be able to speak to as well. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Hi, Dante. Dante's saying hi.
Yes. Oh, Dante.
So let's get started, because I was going to get off track because I think you and Dante are in the same state, but maybe not. Okay, so let me put it over, and I want to introduce Dr. Gina Wilkinson. Welcome, Dr. Wilkinson. Can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you are and who you are?
Okay, I'm so sorry. I realized when I go down to my command center, I think it pauses my video. I just wanted to, I was getting notifications, so I had to put on Do Not Disturb. Okay, sorry. So my name is Gina Wilkinson, pronouns she, her, ella. I received my PhD from the University of Iowa in Psychological and Quantitative Foundations, School Psychology. My dissertation was on, I don't know how in-depth you want me to get into, just the highlights of who I am and what I've done.
Okay. And tell us about your dissertation.
Yeah, my dissertation was quantitative. It's like, you know, kind of intimidating at first, because I was in the presence of these, you know, qualitative scholars, and I always just like love qualitative studies. So, but my study was quantitative. I was on student mobility and the effects on reading skills of elementary age students. And oh, I love these comments. It's going to be really distracting. I'm sorry. Okay. But I am currently, so I live in Iowa. I'm originally from New York, Queens. And I've been living here for the past 10 years. My husband's also a school psychologist. Same program. We met first year. And so we're two practicing school psychologists in the field. And yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Oh my gosh, there's a lot there that I just want to uplift. Come on, first year, finding Bay in graduate school. We love that. And come on, quantitative. I actually forgot that your dissertation was quantitative. And I think that's so important because, yes, we talk about Qual Scholars and it's for qualitative research, but we uplift and we invite quantitative scholars in because really when we think about the dissertation, as Dr. Lacy will say, is it's about mindset. So whether you are quant or qual or mixed methods or this and that, it is about mindset. And our lessons are going to cross that sort of spectrum of research.
Oh, absolutely. I think that was probably initially like one of my questions, like, will this be a good fit? And come to find out, it's like all mindset work that applies to, you know, anyone and everything. So no, it was very appropriate for me. It was an excellent fit. I can't believe I went through this program. Like, I'm so blessed to have done it and to have met all of you. I've just even like, since we, you know, decided to do this, I've been reflecting on my experience, and I get emotional because of how, you know, the whole purpose of this is to, as a program, you know, promotes, is like to finish intact with like your sanity, with with you know, all of your faculties, and not you know, a mess like unfortunately many people do. And so I think that was just one of the biggest it was one of the things that really attracted me to the program, was the amount of self work that you do, and just the support that you get from the program, regardless of like what your background is or what you're working on specifically.
Yes, we love that. Thank you for really unpacking that. I want to go into our first question, and I'm going to set it up a little bit. So I'm going to ask you, why did you join Finish Your Dissertation? We talked about, you know, mindset, but let me just preface this. At this point, you found Dr. Lacy. You're thinking you need to ask for an extension for your proposal, but you were really concerned that your program wouldn't grant you that extension that you needed. And so I just want to start there. Why did you join Finish Your Dissertation with that context?
Oh my gosh. Well, desperation, hopeless. I was on the precipice of hopelessness. No, in all seriousness, I'd been, you know, almost 10 years out. I mean, it was at that point, it was like 8.5, 9, I can't remember. But you have a certain deadline from the point of defending your, you know, comprehensive exams to the point where you have to graduate before like your training is outdated. And it's like a good rule. Like I understand it. But time had just flown by so quickly for me. I had done internship in New Orleans. I loved it. I wouldn't regret that, but it was a year of growth for me. I was hired as the like school psychologist. And although I had, support and supervision, I, you know, was just really, it was an emotionally taxing year to say the least. And I was very busy. I had like no free time. I mean, there's always time, right? You prioritize, but just the like headspace that I was in, I wasn't able to make, you know, that much progress with my dissertation. Luckily, my husband and I land really good jobs where we're currently at, and again, another, you know, kind of chapter in our life of growth. And we were very busy. I mean, just aside from like the learning curve that comes with being a young professional, we were very busy. We had a lot of work, and we're very grateful for that work. One of the awesome things about our field is that it's you know, it's highly needed, and so we had, I mean, just like that, like 4 years had, you know, almost gone by. And I was desperate. I was just like, I am the further away I was from like, you know, comps and graduate school physically, like campus, the more I thought that maybe, you know, this isn't for me, or maybe this is just like where my journey is, you know, coming to an end. But I was, I think it was when well, let me back up a bit. So I was in touch with one of my cohort mates from internship, one of my dear friends, Jamil. I think I saw her log on, which I am like so excited. I think I saw her. Oh gosh, Jamil, if you're on here, this one's for you, girl. I owe it all to her, because she was the one. Well, she had posted. We had kept in touch. Really good friends. She had posted that she had graduated, and I was just so happy for her. You know, when one of us wins, like we all win, right? And so I was just like, oh, yeah, it is her. So she had finished, and, you know, I was like, how'd you do it? Oh my gosh. Like what, I mean, I know how you did it. You're a brilliant person, but like what specifically like helped you to, you know, just kind of get over that hump? And she talked about like accountability and telling a bunch of people and missing some deadlines. I hope it's okay if I share that, Jamil. But then that just kind of motivated her to finish. And I was like, that's what I need. I need accountability. I need just that kind of external, you know, support. And like I said, not physically being on campus, or just kind of, you know, being even being on campus and not taking coursework, but like being a GA, or just physically being on campus, there's like a different vibe to it, right? And so the longer that had gone since I left campus, like the more that I thought like academia, you know, wasn't for me. And so like the longer that I was like also kind of putting it on the back burner. So then Jamil was, you know, we were just talking, and she mentioned that I can't remember, it was like a classmate, Dr. Lacy. I don't know if they took a class together or they had mutual friends, but she's like, I know someone who has this, I think she has a company, like a program that helps, it's just like a support group to help people finish their dissertation. And specifically, I think like for students, like graduate students of color. And I was like, what? Like there's like such a program out there. And I just had kind of one of those, and I don't know if you've like watched Arrested Development, but I had a little, you know, there's dozens of us like moment where I was like, I felt something, you know, when she shared that with me, that made me think like, maybe this could be something, you know, I could explore. So yes, I reached out to Dr. Lacy. I think I like, you know, Instagram stalked her a little bit, looked at her page, totally legit. And then I applied, and, you know, I filled out one of those applications. We had our intake. And like from the beginning, I mean, she is just, I mean, just a cool person in general, very easy to talk to, so personable. But I mean, just from that like free consultation, she was like giving me advice. And I had told her about my extension. I was, you know, I was expressing my interest in this program, but I was on the fence because my extension hadn't been granted. And so I was like, there's so much in the air right now. I'm literally in like, you know, this kind of limbo where I'm feeling paralyzed yet again, and I don't know what to do. And she, as she always, you know, does with just that like certainty and just confidence that you know, with what she always speaks with, she's like, why, like she just, I can't even like remember specifically what she said, but she helped me not think too much into the future, and certainly not spiral, because, you know, we all do that, especially when there's like such high stakes things. And I was just yeah, I just put my trust in her, and I was like, well, I'll join, and we'll just see what happens. Of course, it was, you know, granted. I think she actually made me realize like this is an investment in your education. Like they wouldn't just drop you, you know, just out of nowhere. And so I think that was telling of like where I was mentally, like you know, imposter syndrome, self-worth stuff. I mean, all of the above. It was just weighing on me, and I felt like I had this block. And yeah, she encouraged me to just, you know, think positively and wait for that extension, because it was going to be granted. And then I just, yeah, I started the program, and once I got that extension, you know, did a little happy dance with my family, and then we just got to work.
Yes, that is quite like a journey that we go through as like clients getting coached. You know, like this idea of what if it does work out can sometimes feel like, what? I haven't even thought about that. But
yeah.
You know, what I remember from your story, because Dr. Lacy had highlighted you in a past podcast episode, is you were waiting for your extension, and you're like, I want to finish my proposal, correct me if I'm wrong, in the fall. And Dr. Lacy says in this episode, she asked you, well, what if you could actually graduate and become doctor by the fall?
Oh my gosh.
How did that feel?
I mean, I tried to, you know, I'm a school psychologist, so I have like, you know, the social skills to, you know, not fully like show my, but I think I was just like, are you nuts? Like how, I mean, I love that you have this confidence, and yes, I'll accept all of that positivity, but I'm like, to finish my proposal, like, to finish like from beginning to end, not even just my proposal, like how, what, huh? In that moment, I mean, I think she'll recall too, I was just kind of like, you know, speechless, and but again, that's like that trust that she has. Like, I think, you know, not just Dr. Lacy, but all of the staff and even just the other scholars that are in the program. There's just this like this unconditional love, if you will, this complete trust in who you are. And I know this gets said, you know, at the beginning of every session, but you are enough, you're doing enough, you have enough. And sometimes like that would make me cry because it's like, this is what I need to hear. You know, this is what I need to counter the other thoughts that are kind of going through my head constantly. And just, I think that statement was just kind of like, I mean, I just had all these emotions. I was like, what? But then also like, tell me more. I'm kind of curious that you have this much trust in me. And I think it also spoke to, oh my gosh, I love all these comments. Sorry. But yeah, I think it just speaks to like the value that this program has, and just that investment that the program makes in you. And so, yeah, no, thanks for reminding me of that. I forgot about that initial statement that sort of changed my whole process.
It's important, and it's fun to reflect on things we might have forgotten in our journey. And that's something that has stuck with me about your journey. So I appreciate you showing us like what that looked like from your perspective, because we've seen it from Dr. Lacy's perspective. Yeah. And so, you know, my next question is, you get your extension, you write your proposal. I mean, you write your dissertation, you defend your dissertation. When you think about the Finish Your Dissertation materials, whether it's the mindset lessons, the coaching, the right-away sessions, the materials, what helped you most finish your dissertation?
Girl, everything. Like that's like one of the good things that like when I'm when I'm given opportunity, it's just like you gotta take advantage of like every single aspect. I really appreciated the accountability that the program offers, just the structure. I think that's the thing that I benefited probably the most just initially, right? Because I had not really written consistently for a long time, and just to get back into that rhythm was so hard because my life had just changed so much since graduate school. I had so many other responsibilities and a lot of things that just were kind of like top priorities. You know, there was like, not to be dramatic, but like kids' lives at stake because, you know, we work with children. And so I needed sort of the structure, but then also the permission to say, and you're only going to work within these, like, you know, this like perimeter. And 10 hours like it's nothing, right? I think, you know, some weeks when you're really motivated, like you do more. But just that permission to say, you know, this tried and true process, you know, is going to have you write or work on your dissertation for 10 hours a week. I don't know if it's changed, but
nope, it hasn't.
Well, good. But I think it allows you to then, right, be those other, you know, wear all those other hats and just be like a whole person, because I think that's the biggest thing. And I'll just speak for myself, but I, you know, not having, like being a first generation student, kind of like doing all of this on my own and not having too many models. Like I always felt like I needed to give them my all, like 100%. Like my parents like have literally like broken their backs, right? Like in life to get ahead. And so I like, that was my model. And Dr. Lacy also gave me that permission to, you know, break some of those generational curses, if you will, of that worked for them, or, you know, not even just like my parents, but like other people. This is what works for you, or you kind of figure that out for yourself, you know. Here's some suggestions. And I think we took back our life, like, which my husband and I, so Sean, because we were like a team with, you know, comes to everything. He in fact was at that intake with me, because I had been talking about, I thought you were going to bring that up, because at first I was like, oh my gosh, it's like my parent coming to, you know, the meeting with like the professor or something. I just felt, but you know, he's my team member, and we had you know, in graduate school money's tight, and so we had Dr. Lacy had actually suggested that he just join us, and then it was great. I mean, it turned into like a little intervention. They both sort of like gave me that tough love that I needed, and then I joined. But anyway, yeah, it was the accountability, it was the structure. It was the community. Oh, I'm just so big on community. And I think just being in, you know, in a different place, like not being in graduate school anymore, where you're with your tight, you know, tight knit cohort. Yes, we have our family, but which, you know, I'm eternally grateful for, and I feel very privileged to have family nearby. But to have people who are going through it, I mean, you know, my husband got his PhD not too long ago, but he was also so far removed. You know, once you finish, you're just like, it's, yes. And I didn't want to do that to him, right? So even the advice that he offered, you know, wasn't necessarily, you know, what was going to work for me. And so this program was so tailored to my experience and my background. And when I showed up, it was exactly what I needed. It just gave me the motivation, the confidence, and just that like moral support, you know, just those good vibes that you just need when you're doing something, you know, aversive or scary, and just just something that you've been kind of doing alone for such a long time became this, like, you know, not so scary thing that I just did regularly, among all the other things that I was doing. So that was, I think, for me initially, like one of the things that got me, like, you know, on that track to finish by 2020. Like I you know, self-fulfilling prophecy right there. And she told me I'd finish, and I did, in December of 2020. And it was just that, you know, consistency of showing up, and definitely taking advantage of some of the other components that the program has, like the kind of mentorship, and I forget what you guys call it, but you kind of get grouped up with other scholars.
Yes.
And so you know, supporting each other through, like, you know, WhatsApp, and sharing resources. I mean, it was just that kind of, that feeling of community, but also of like togetherness. And it actually reminded me, so this is a very special way to end like my graduate school career, because it actually reminded me of way back at the very beginning. Like, what got me started was the NIMCOR. So I was a NIMCOR scholar and a McNair scholar. So NIMCOR is the National Institute for Mental Health Career Opportunities Research Program. It's like this long acronym. But that at my alma mater, Hunter College, was the program that like introduced me to like what even a PhD was. Like, I had no idea what advanced degrees were, and again, a similar mentorship program for underrepresented students. That was like the jumping off point for me, and I'm eternally grateful for that program. And then I did a series of or two, but summer research internship programs at Big 10 universities. And the things about these programs that just set you up for success is, I mean, there are no assumptions. Like, everything is taught to you, right? And so you don't know what you don't know. And so from like how to write a personal statement to, like, you know, dealing with imposter syndrome, it was just like a boot camp for underrepresented students. And it's so funny that, you know, you get to grad school, so they help you get to grad school, and then you're just like, you know, you're coming from this like very, you know, highly diverse group where you're all just like, I've never been a part of a sorority and or groups like that, but it felt like that, you know. And then you get to grad school, and it's just kind of like, okay, now you're expected to, you know, kind of carry the torch, if you will. And so like I said, the longer that I was out, the harder it was for me to feel that passion that I felt when I first started this journey, and finish strong. Because again, another thing that this program really promotes is like, you're going to finish. Like, we believe in you from the get-go. Like, you're going to finish. How do you want to finish is the question. Like, do you want to finish on a strong and good note and have all these like great memories of your process, or do you want to, like, you know, kind of close that chapter in your life and never think about it again because it was so painful? And so I think that reflecting on this upcoming live, I was just like, oh my gosh, how beautiful it was to to end with a similar kind of experience to the one that I started with. So I don't think I ever shared that in the group. That
No. I love that, Dr. Wilkinson, because, it brings up a few things of how much Finish Your Dissertation Qual Scholars feels like home, especially for first generation students of color, where we have been a part of these programs. And it makes sense that graduate school, we would want that extra support, especially if we've been in McNair or like mentorship programs, things like that. And when I even thought of my own experience, I'm like, oh yeah, dissertation coach, that makes sense given the other experience I've had in my educational journey and pipeline. So I really appreciate you uplifting that.
Yeah, of course.
And also you did when you joined, when you say community, you were in there. Like we would go into breakout rooms in our right-away sessions, and the question would be like, reflect on why it's so hard to say yes to your wellness. And we would go in the breakout room, and Gina's new, and she'd be like, all right, everyone, like, let's get into this. And I'm like, okay, day one, and you're ready.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I'm going to do is talk about my feelings when given the opportunity to. And I mean, I was just so, again, I feel like I've been saying this word desperate all the time, but it's kind of the state that I was in. And I was just desperate for that community, that fellowship, that bonding that you do in graduate school, right? Or in some of these mentorship programs that we've been talking about. And I just hadn't had that in a long time, having a husband who in the same field, I mean, we graduated from the same program, wasn't, he was very helpful and supportive in his own way. But it still like wasn't what I needed. And so, yeah, there's so many opportunities. And of course, like, if you're extroverted like me, like you probably talk more than you need to in these groups. And, but even if you're just like listening to other people speak or getting, read, I'm just kidding, being given advice. Sometimes it did feel like a read though. But it was good. It was all just tough love, what we needed when we needed it. But yeah, it's even just like as an observer in that group is you just get so much from it.
Yeah, I really agree with that same sentiment. And, even I remember when you were down to the wire, like it was fall and you were about to graduate in 4 weeks, 8 weeks. I remember you would pop on even to say like, hey, I'm here. I'm working on my dissertation. I'm just going to pop on to say hi. And that's the community that we have where you show up as you are. If you can show up for 5 minutes, show up for 5 minutes, check in with us, tell us that you're going to go write your dissertation after dinner, after you spend some time with the hubby, and we get it, especially when those deadlines come up. So there's definitely like room for like, if you want to be deep in community, you can be deep in the community. If you need to be adjacent because of other things going on, you're about to defend in a week, we also get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's just so many opportunities to, like, it's not one size fits all. You use the program to your advantage. So sometimes, I think there was with the cohort or a group of students that I was with, like, I think they were at the very end of like their journey. I think they were writing their edits and they joined the program, and they did just kind of like that pop in, maybe just for maybe the introduction or the reflection of the day, that kind of segment at the beginning before we start writing. And then they would, say, I'm on, but I'm gonna have my camera off and I'm just gonna, keep writing and not stop until, whenever the timer went off. So you really can use the program in so many different ways. There's so many components to it that I think it allows for you to, just make it your own.
I thank you so much for uplifting that. And I also want to say thank you, everyone, for joining. And as we're talking, if you have any questions for Dr. Wilkinson, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I wanted to go to, this next question of, thinking of your own experience, what advice would you give to someone who's working on their dissertation? They're thinking about joining Finish Your Dissertation. They're on the fence. What would you say to them about joining?
Do it. Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's it's an investment. So again, going back to reflecting on how you want to finish and what you need. I think this program offers so many different things for many people, and it's just an investment. Like even the, you know, the monetary factor to it. I mean, when you think about how much you've spent in your entire graduate school career, like it's insignificant in comparison to, you know, not finishing or not, you know, completing that long-term goal of yours. So I would just say to not think too much about it. Probably, you know, just from my own advice, my own, you know, kind of experience. Don't think too much about it. And I think there's so many different ways you can join. I've seen, since I've like finished the program, many different packages. And so definitely give it a shot. I mean, you're in for a treat. There's so many beautiful moments in the program. I mean, I think the people in it also make it. So I'm sure depending on when you join, there's like a different sort of culture or vibe to each group. And you learn so much from not just, you know, the staff and the program itself, but from one another. It's just a really, really good idea. and I honestly, like, I would say that you can ask questions. Like you have, I mean, right now, if not a lot of people have joined or don't have any questions right now, like feel free to reach out. Like any and all questions are welcome. Like I'm happy to offer any advice and of course, you know, from my perspective, like what just my thoughts on the program. So don't think too much about it. Definitely join and just think about the investment that this is for your education, for your future, really.
I love that. I think investment is key. And I think it's sometimes what comes down is we don't believe that we are deserving or worthy of investment. And really to think about investment really is about thinking about our goal that we're working towards and how we want to finish. Do we want to finish whole and happy and feeling free, or do we want to finish burned out, never wanting to look back, like you said, because it was too traumatic, it was too hard. And so I really appreciate you unpacking that. And you know, you're a whole doctor now, you're a whole school psychologist, and I'm curious, like when you think of your time and Finish Your Dissertation, what has stayed with you in your career, in your personal life?
Oh my gosh. So that process just works so well, like, or at least for me, it works so well with my life that those habits were just, I mean, they're just lifelong habits now for me, right? It's like the dissertation ended, but focusing on like me time is still something that I do. In fact, my husband and I, whenever, you know, we're working on something, or even when we come home from work, he's just like, I'm gonna go take an hour of me time. He like goes and plays video games. Like he has also used this program through me, through all the lessons that I learned. And it's just, it like improved my life. And I think the permission to, I think what stayed with me the most is that permission to, oh my gosh, Sean, I show up for myself. He sure does. You know,
listen, Sean is an honorary Qual Scholar. Yes. We stand Sean in this program.
Oh my gosh. He was actually, when I was feeling guilty, because, you know, it's not like you just start the program and all of a sudden you forget all of your, you know, old bad habits. They are so hard to break, but it is possible. I would still feel guilty. I'm like, well, 10 hours for, you know, other scholars who have been doing this for a long time. Like I always felt like I was needing to catch up, or like I was behind, like all the other people in my program had graduated. And so I always felt like I needed to do more than what I was being told to do. And so he would keep me honest and would say like, nope, you got to take an hour of me time, or, you know, just apply any of the other things that come with the program, like brain dumping. That has been, like, for somebody as emotional as me, like, I don't know how I haven't been brain dumping, which brain dumping is journaling, right? Another word for journaling. You know, since I was a child. But yeah, that has helped me a ton too, when I'm just kind of overwhelmed, you know, at work and life in general. And sometimes I just feel stuck. I don't even know where to start, right? You know, you have those like Saturdays where you're just like, oh, it's my day off, but like, I don't even know where to begin. I have like so many different errands to run. So many things on my mind, and just brain dump. Sean will encourage me, like, go brain dump. I think you need to go brain dump. And so that always helps me just, you know, start my day off great. And yeah, just that lesson of showing up for myself. I finished my dissertation. I graduated during a pandemic. I mean, I know we're still in a pandemic, but it was that, you know, that initial, you know, 2020 year that was so tough for all of us. There was so much going on in the world, so much hurting, so much tragedy. And Dr. Lacy, I mean, there were some sessions where we were all, I mean, we were just at a loss for, like, no one really said much. And Dr. Lacy would give us that great advice of, you know, you can be like upset and mad and like wanna, you know, just, you know, for lack of a better word, like just go nuts and just say F it. And you can also be like, you know, happy and enjoying this process. Like that duality, I think, was also another lesson that has really stuck with me. And in fact, I didn't even know that I was going to have to apply it so soon after I finished, because as I was defending my dissertation, as I was getting ready to graduate, like I turned in my revisions, my manuscript, the week that I had defended, so the week that I had defended was around Thanksgiving. My advisor had actually advised me to defend before Thanksgiving, because he's like, you're going to want it done before the holidays. And I was like, oh my gosh, how can I do this before? It's just like coming up. So glad I did it. Was one of the first Thanksgivings like I really enjoyed with my family. Like I didn't have to think about anything else. But that was that week that my mom was being evaluated and getting like biopsies done. And so there was like this really scary thing like in my personal life going on. And then finished my revisions. I turned in my dissertation and finally got approved. And like the week of my graduation, so obviously I had to have a virtual one, but the day of my commencement ceremony that we're all gonna just, you know, do in our living room, you know, to celebrate. My mom was hospitalized. She had her first round of chemo. She got diagnosed with lymphoma, and she had her first. So I just remember, I mean, obviously all of the emotions that come with that. Parent being diagnosed, I mean, it's obviously very terrible, and like the way that the program set me up, I was able to reflect on how much I had enjoyed the process, and how, you know, even though there was this, you know, really scary, terrible thing happening in my life, like I could still be proud of myself. Like I couldn't, like before, I think I would have just felt guilty for, you know, feeling good, you know, in a time of tragedy. But I was like still, you know, happy and proud of myself and feeling all those feelings like outwardly. And I was still, you know, kind of holding that space for my mom and for our family. And, oh, my brother just signed on right now. So.
Hey, brother.
I'm going to start crying. No, but, so had I not like taken the time to, you know, show up for myself and preserve my peace and do what I need to do and really like, again, enjoy the process. I would have like resented myself, I think, because, right, we're just like, go, meet the goal. Okay, what's the next one? We don't take time to like feel the feelings of accomplishment and like happiness and joy. Like my therapist once told me, you have to, for as long as you have been like, you know, struggling and putting yourself down and like wishing for this thing to happen, you should celebrate just as much, like once you finally accomplish the goal, not move on to like the next thing, right? And that just dovetails so well with like Dr. Lacy's advice of, you know, you want to finish like, you know, happy and healthy. And I think for me to have finished so strong, like I was in a good headspace. I was feeling proud of myself. I was proud of like my not just like the end result, but my entire, you know, journey, that I didn't need like the big celebration, even though my family did a wonderful job of celebrating me in our living room. My mom
had most beautiful pictures.
Thank you. Oh, it was so sweet. We couldn't watch my commencement ceremony live, unfortunately. But then when my mom got out of the hospital, we were able to have a really nice little celebration, and those are the pictures that I posted. But so yeah, so I mean, not to go on and on, but I think when you're in graduate school, it's like the only thing you're thinking about, and everything else is kind of like, you know, not as important. And this program helps you see like you are a whole ass person. Like you're not just a graduate student. You are a daughter, a spouse. There's so many different things that make up your life. And this only has to be like a little, it's an important part of it. And you're definitely going to like show up and put out good work, but it doesn't have to like consume your life. And I think for a really long time, that's what it was becoming. Like it was just like this thing lingering over me, and it was just really hard to get out of that. So I'm eternally grateful for this program. I think protecting my peace is another. As I'm talking, like I'm thinking of all the other lessons of this, just endless lessons that I
scholar basics. Yeah.
Yes. Protect my peace. Again, during those really difficult times in 2020. Dr. Lacy would be like, do not feel guilty for shutting it all down and tuning everything out. That permission, I mean, it was huge, because you know, we're all in these helping professional fields in one way or another, and we felt like we needed to do something. We felt like we needed to join all these committees. We needed to, you know, advocate and help. And Dr. Lacy was always encouraging us to put ourselves first. You need to finish so that you can continue to do this work. And it was the best advice I could have gotten, because there's always like so many opportunities that come your way, or things that you could be doing, or exciting projects that you could be like involved in. But that's putting sometimes like other people before you. And what this program does is like, yeah, put you at the forefront, and then you're able to give more of yourself. Like I think showing up for myself, I was able to then, you know, be a better spouse, be a better like mom to my little fur baby at my feet, and daughter and sister, and I was just living more wholly, you know, and completely once I was able to like take control of this thing that was sort of taking control of me. So
what a testimony, what a journey, Dr. Wilkinson. I am so honored to just check in with you and hear more about your journey. And, you know, as we're talking, if anyone has any comments or questions for Dr. Wilkinson, please put them in the chat. You know, I'm wondering if people want to stay connected to you, want to get in touch with you, is there a good way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can DM me on Instagram. You can also email me. I don't know if you can like put my contact information, my email, or
yeah, if that's okay with you, I could put it
yeah, or I mean
after the recording.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'd be happy to talk to anyone who's interested in joining or learning more about this program. Certainly my experience. Yeah, I'd be happy to pay it forward. Like so many people have been so honest and so transparent with me. Like it's really fulfilling to be able to then like help somebody else who may be feeling alone, maybe feeling like discouraged, desperate, all of the above. So yes, please reach out.
People, you hear it, you heard it from Dr. Wilkinson. Again, I just hope everyone really takes away from Dr. Wilkinson's journey the power in showing up for yourself and putting yourself first, in, you know, asking for help, asking for that extension, And we are just so grateful to be in community with you, Dr. Wilkinson. You know, we're always happy to see you, and we're always rooting for you and uplifting you. And if there's anything else you want to add, please do. But I just want to thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thanks, Alex. No, I want to thank you all. Like, I just salute you for and I got to get an update on that dissertation, that amazing dissertation you're working on. After the live, yeah. we can get more touch base more. But no, I just wanted to thank you and the other scholars, and of course Dr. Lacy, the incredible Dr. Lacy. I put in my acknowledgements page on my dissertation. Like, you guys are my ring light at the end of my graduate student tunnel, because I mean, I couldn't have done it without you guys. I wouldn't have to have done it without you guys, and the memories that I have. I mean, I've just made so many good friends. I'm truly blessed to have joined this amazing group of brilliant scholars, generous scholars. And no, I just want to thank you again. I think the moral support, the love that's shown. I mean, it was truly a beautiful experience, and one that I'll cherish always. So no, thank you for your work, and I can't wait to see you until you're a doctor pretty soon. Yes, you're already a doctor. That's like the thing of this program, right? It's like, you're already a doctor. We believe in you.
If Doctora Wilkinson can do it, I can do it too. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Amen. Yes.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. We will have this live recorded for you to view on your own time. We hope that you enjoyed it, and everyone, do something to show yourself some love tonight, okay? Bye, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Wilkinson.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.